Only smart people do it.
Jesse Pham shot.
Ah, not bad, not bad. I like. Alright, stop that shit, come on. Move your hand. How's it going, guys? Jesse here. And I recently got an email from a guy named James. He's from the US. He's been living in Georgetown. That's around Washington, D.C. He's 20 years old. He grew up in the same area, and now he's going to college there. And he's expressing his feelings that he just has this massive urge to just leave and see what else the world has to offer. And if you put yourself in his position, I know I can relate to him. Living in California, yes, you have this whole like Hollywood type of projection about it, but literally me living there, I lose my fucking mind because I just seen the same shit, same people, same food all the fucking time. And James, I completely empathize with you. If I think back, if I was still there now, and not having been traveling, I would lose my mind. So I feel you for that one, buddy. So basically, James in a little dilemma, and he asked me, he basically told me actually that his biggest fear is taking off overseas, not knowing anybody, in a different country, doesn't know if he can speak the local language. And he says he wants to work at pub crawls. This way he can be social and everything and keep costs low. But he's really worried and he thinks it's risky. He's saying it's very risky that if he takes off, he might not get the job or not. And what I have to tell him is risky is, it's really subjective. I mean, if you compare it to like a Navy SEAL, a guy who is like, if you guys don't know about the US, the Navy SEALs are basically the #1 like special op force in our military, and these guys like literally just fuck shit up. They go into the most like dangerous places in the world to kill like highly ranked terrorists. And if you think about the situation, there's like a lot of like bombs everywhere, guns and explosions, and these guys go into it daily, and they it's like a life or a life-threatening mission basically. So that is risky. And if you compare that situation to yours, that you want to take off overseas to go to a new country where it's safe, there's no guns going off or bombs or anything like that. It's not risky, man. It's purely subjective. I can really relate to this because when I took off overseas, I didn't have a stable income. I didn't know anybody's overseas. I just had this massive desire to travel, and I have to tell you, you have to really be obsessed with that feeling of traveling. And one of my favorite words is actually wanderlust, and the definition is a strong feeling to explore, to travel basically. And you have to really be obsessed with it, like I said. And the thing is, you really have to be optimistic about it. You can't be a pessimist. You can't think of like, oh, this will go wrong, I won't get that job overseas, or I'm gonna get kidnapped. And because the thing is with your brain, if you focus on the negativity, your brain's just gonna find countless of excuses to reinforce that belief. This is some pretty deep stuff, but it really is true. I've experienced it. I know many others. There's science and research on this specific topic. If you want to read more about this, I highly suggest you pick up Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell something, Schwartz, I think. So this is a really good topic on that. So basically, dude, focus on all the possibilities. Think about how awesome it would be to muster up the courage to take off overseas and not have that stability. And yeah, you're just gonna, it's gonna be super exciting and yet scary at the same time. But what's the point of like living if you know exactly what's gonna happen from day to day? And that's normal, especially if you're coming from home. I did the same thing back then. But now you're on traveling, your environment's constantly changing. You did mention that you're like a fun social guy back at university and everything, but you don't really trust yourself once you go overseas. Man, the thing is, that actually has to do with like situational confidence. You've been growing up at the same place. You've been growing up there for a while, so you know everything and you can feel confident there. This is pretty similar to if you ever threw a party or know a friend who threw a party. They're really confident. He's like really outgoing and speaks loud. He's not worried about anything. But if you take yourself out of that position, this is when your confidence will definitely drop. I've seen this a lot with the people I went to high school with. They're confident at this one position. I mean, they're confident at home, but if you throw them out to, like, for example, university, then they start freaking out. They need to latch on to like their old schoolmates and stuff like that. This is a bit of a ramble, but yeah, just definitely go out, trust yourself. Nothing wrong is going to happen to you. It's not risky at all. Yes, you are in college, but you don't have to drop out. I know for me, I did drop out. Just college wasn't for me. But for you, you can take a semester off. And you can also go during the summertime, but I suggest you do it during school year so you can really explore the student life. It's much different than the US, that's for sure. Europe has no sororities or fraternities or any of that bullshit. You really get to experience life. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that question. God, sometimes I can't even think because shut up. I hope you enjoyed that answer, and I'll see you guys next time.